I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are too old to not understand what an apology is, okay? If you feel personally victimized by this lesson, then this video was for you. Hey guys, it's Agnes. Welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new here. I'm a psychiatric nurse, therapist, and owner of this new t-shirt.
Oh my God!
I run a tight shipwreck. Did you see it? Guys, something has come to my attention recently, and quite frankly, I'm alarmed. So it turns out that some people don't know how to apologize, like at all. So I didn't think I had to make a video about apologizing, but here I am, because turns out quite a lot of you out there, you know who you are like terrible at apologizing. So I think the confusion with apologizing occurs when somebody thinks that saying sorry is the equivalent of accepting responsibility for something. And now I'll give you an example. If somebody goes through a bereavement, if somebody is grieving, you would say to them, "I'm so sorry for your loss." You're not saying that because you killed their relative. That's insane. Or if you are, then you are like seriously fucked up and you need help. So most of us apologize. We say, "I'm sorry for your loss" to someone who's having a difficult time, even though you are in no way responsible for them being in that situation. You are saying sorry to them because you recognize pain in them. Now, this is a hugely powerful way of apologizing, but I think that can get really confused with taking responsibility. So for example, you could have an interaction with somebody where you have said something and they say, "That really hurt my feelings." Now, you don't have to agree with them that you think that was a hurtful thing that you said. You do not have to fall to your knees, groveling, and agree with everything that they think and feel about that interaction. Absolutely not. But what you could do is you could recognize that you hurt them by saying sorry. You could say, "I'm sorry I hurt your feelings," even if you don't agree that what you said was hurtful. Because actually, if we're talking about something that's hurtful or something that's not hurtful, that is so completely subjective. Nobody gets to decide, oh, that's hurtful and that's not hurtful. There's not some overarching authority on whether something is hurtful or not. So if you have hurt somebody's feelings, you do not need to take full responsibility for it, as if you are admitting that you knew it would be hurtful and you did it anyway. That's not what that apology does. That apology doesn't say, "I'm completely taking responsibility and accountability for what occurred here. I knew what I was doing. I knew that it would be hurtful and I did it anyway." That's not what you're saying. What you are saying is, "Oh, I can see that I've hurt you. I can see that I've hurt you and I'm sorry about it. I didn't mean to do that, and I'm sorry I hurt your feelings." Now, it can be as simple as that, but some of you out there, are making it far more complicated than it has to be. Far more complicated than it has to be.
Wish I could, but I can't. Well, can, but won't. Should, maybe, but shorn't.
Michael, please.
What part of shorn't don't you understand, Kevin?
So another good example of a pretty easy apology, or an apology that should be easy, but not everyone seems to find it easy. You could physically hurt someone without realizing. Like if you stand on somebody's toe, some people might view that as, "I'm not going to apologize because I didn't mean to," which to me is just so absolutely missing the point. You're not apologizing because you meant to do a bad thing. You're apologizing because you caused someone physical pain. Like if you walked into somebody while you were carrying something, just saying, "Oh, I'm so sorry," if they said, "Ow," that's really, really not that difficult. But some people out there, again, are making it just so much more complicated than it has to be by trying to associate an apology with taking full responsibility as if you knew what you were doing. And that is not what an apology means. What an apology means in a lot of the circumstances that I've just listed is, "I am sorry I hurt your feelings." That is as difficult as it has to be. I think when apologizing is at its most difficult is when somebody's become really defensive, when they feel that they are being unjustly blamed for something that wasn't their fault. That's when an apology can be the hardest to give. When you feel really defensive, you feel like you've been blamed for something that wasn't your fault. And in that situation, I would really, really strongly recommend finding something you can apologize for. So I have had this interaction like countless times with my sister. We have spent a huge amount of time together. We argue a huge amount. It's like the healthiest relationship I have. We argue so much and we recover from it beautifully. But the amount of times that we have hurt each other's feelings without meaning to. And we have now after 30, I'm 34, my sister's 38. So after many years of fighting each other, we have now found ourselves in a really strong position where apologizing for hurting each other's feelings is as easy as ever. I don't even need to understand what was hurtful about what I said. I can say, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings without even completely understanding what I did. You don't need to completely understand. You don't need to agree that it was a hurtful thing. Acknowledging that somebody was hurt by it. And also, you are never in a position where you can say that wasn't hurtful, because hurt is too subjective. So basically, the point of this video and my main piece of advice is just apologize. Just apologize. Get better at apologizing. I actually had this situation with a family member of mine. It's like from my extended family. I can't even go into the story. It is the longest, most dramatic story ever, where basically harm was done to my family.
I protect the family, leave it with me.
My small family by a member of my extended family. You guys keeping up with this? So some harm was done. And I had said to another member of my extended family, you know, he could have apologized. And she said, why would he apologize? He didn't do anything wrong. And I said he could have apologized for inconveniencing us. Because yes, he maybe didn't technically do something awful, but he absolutely could have handled the situation better. He absolutely could have considered us more, my small family, could have absolutely considered our feelings more, could have taken that hurt and really done a huge amount to help us heal from it. But he didn't. Instead, the response was, well, this wasn't my fault, so I'm not apologizing. And actually, that's kind of dog because he could have apologized for causing us inconvenience, for causing us hurt. That's what he could have apologized for. It doesn't need to be all or nothing when it comes to an apology. You don't need to be taking full responsibility, full accountability, like on bended knee, being like, I'm the worst person in the entire world. You don't have to do that to apologize. Just apologize for hurting somebody's feelings, okay? Okay, well, I'm glad that we've got that settled because honestly, guys, whoever, I don't know who needs to hear this, but you are too old to not understand what an apology is, okay? There are very different types of apology. It does not mean just one thing, and you should really practice, okay? If you feel personally victimized by this lesson, then this video was for you. And you need to go away and do some work on yourself, okay? Start by apologizing. I'm sorry I hurt your feelings. You don't even need to understand what you said that hurt the person's feelings in order to be able to give that kind of apology. And I can tell you it will be hugely effective and it will be hugely helpful in your relationships. Well, guys, that is it for this video. I really hope you've learned something and do better. It's my best. No, I'm kidding. Some of you guys watching this will be like fabulous apologizers and congratulations, because apparently it's not that easy. So I hope you guys take good care of yourselves and I will see you in my next video. Bye-bye. Therapist and lover of tenants. It's vitamin T, you guys. This is important you take it every day. I can't, as a mental health professional, even make that joke without doing a disclaimer. That was a joke. For legal purposes, that was a joke. Don't drink every day.